Hello everybody, I'm back after my 1-week break. It was really necessary. Today we're gonna visit the third gym, which is based on one of your suggestions. Missy Dupop suggested to make a gym based on the story of The Little Mermaid, a story by the Danish author Hans Christian Andersen. I really liked this idea, so here we go. Little Mermaid is the youngest daughter of the Sea King and is not allowed to see the surface world until she's 15. She was always fascinated by the surface world though. When she was old enough, she did swim above, where she saved a prince who was caught in a ship crash. She brings him to the beach where another princess finds him. To visit the prince, the Little Mermaid gets a special potion of a sea witch, which gives her legs. She has to sacrifice her voice for the potion, and she won't be able to go back to her family though. Also, if the prince doesn't fall in love with her, she will die, which was pretty mean. Problem is, the prince already fell in love with the other princess and already married her. Her sister mermaids tell her to kill the prince to break the spell and save her. However, Little Mermaid refuses to, jumps back into the water and turns into sea foam. Since the sea foam wasn't really fitting for my concept, I went with corals instead. It makes sense, don't worry. And let's start with the base form of the Fakemon line. So, what I had in mind was totally different from what I ended up doing. Before starting the drawing, I did want to go with a more humanoid mon. However, since we already have Primarina and because the first two gym leaders have a humanoid Fakemon, I decided to go with a more zoomorphic way and focus more on the lore and what the Fakemon will become. A lot of my Fakemon are not that colorful, I realized. This one was supposed to be the complete opposite. I decided that it's gonna be a small fish Fakemon based on a moray, which come in all sorts of colors. And part of it is covered in chorus. To get some inspiration, I used Coroyal as a reference. And while I drew the actual chorus completely different, I did add the kinda fragmented pattern on its fins and jaw. One of my first sketches depicted the Fakemon swimming straight up to the sea surface, but that pose looked rather weird, so I just subtly hinted at it by making it hold its head up and looking at the surface. When I start coloring, you will hopefully see that I try to make the corals on its back appear to be translucent. I don't know if there are actually translucent corals, but since this stage resembles a rather young mon, I thought this kind of corals will show that it's not grown up yet and that the corals are still fragile. Since we already have a coral Pokémon, I contemplated for a while if I want to make it directly related to it or maybe at least reference it. Some sort of conversion evolution type of thing. But first, I didn't want to use pink on this mon, and second, I decided to rather make a similar concept to Coroyal and Gala Coroyal. You probably know what I'm talking about, but I'm still gonna explain. Coroyal is a happy and healthy walking Coralmon, while Gala Coroyal is, according to the Pokewiki, the result of a meteor crashing which changed the habitat, so the Coroyals died, which are now known to be Gala Coroyal. Oh, by the way, I always thought that the canon reason for the existence of Gala Coroyal was man-made climate change, so I was pretty surprised about the whole meteor thing. The first stage represents a healthy coral, while the evolution will be one that is negatively affected by the climate or habitat change. I know what I say right now doesn't have much to do with the fairy tale, but it will work, I promise. Anyway, in real life there is an event called coral bleaching, which Gala Coroyal is based on, and which you probably at least all heard or have seen pictures of. Usually corals are covered in microscopic algae that live in a symbiotic relationship with them. Not only do these algae give corals their coloration, but they're also providing them with food. However, if corals get stressed, the algae will leave the coral, which leads to them not getting enough food. You may ask, what do corals even get stressed about? Well, there's actually a bunch of things. Increasing or decreasing water temperatures, polluted water, and overexposure to sun or the air. To sum it up, basically the man-made climate change. Since with Gala Coroyal we already have a dead coral, I didn't want to go this far for this Fakemon. However, you will see that the color is slowly fading into a more muted color scheme. At first, I wanted the line to have 3 stages, but it would have ended in a line that fits into the same mon but larger category, which I didn't want. The line is already low-key in that category, but to me it's fitting thing. However, another evolution was just not justified. What else can I say? Oh yeah, I probably should have switched the two blue tones you see around, since for camouflage reasons animals often have a light belly and a darker back, so they can blend in with either the sky or the deep sea, but the vibrant blue as a base was more fitting in my opinion. And here's the first Fakemon of the third gym, the pure water type Mermid. The name is a fusion of mermaid, Meer, the German term for sea, and kid. They always strive to get to the sea surface, however they are not the best swimmers, so they rarely succeed. This doesn't stop them from trying though. As you can see, I at least try to implement the characteristics of the princess into this Fakemon, cause I know the design is a rather loose interpretation, but I was more comfortable this way, cause humans and humanoid Fakemon are always super challenging for me. Now to the evolution. I already told you quite a bit about this Fakemon, or rather its concept and the color scheme. The Coroyal now overgrew a large part of its body, like its whole back, the tail and its fin, that turned into legs now. Also, the pattern that was at the pre-evo's jaw now also turned into a coral, however I tried to make it look different from the other ones. They live in the sea of the Jermanzburg region and love to get to the surface. Once the tides are low, they walk, or rather drag themselves around on the now uncovered ground. They sometimes overestimate their speed and forget the time while staying at the beaches. This often leads to them to miss the next rise of the water, which is usually their way back into the sea. If this scenario happens to one of them, they immediately walk into the still wet sand and bury themselves into it, until only the corals are sticking out above. They do this to keep their body hydrated, because even though they are able to survive at the land for a few hours, they are not made for a permanent life on it. While burrowing in the wet sand does increase their survival rates, the corals on its back do get damaged by being exposed for too long to the sunlight. This is one of the reasons why this evolution has a paled coral back, but not the only one. As you know, one part of the Jermanzburg region, the shift area, has a lot of technology and factories. Waste gets dumped into the ocean as well as toxic materials from the factories. This is a huge hazard for the fragile ecosystem of the Jermanzburg Sea. We've already discussed a lot of possibilities for side quests if this was an actual game, and I want to add 2 more in this video. You can join a nature conservation club that is specialized on protecting marine wildlife and cleaning the ocean. One task would be to check the beaches if there are any stranded Pokémon. If you find this particular one, you are ordered to put some special sun protection on top of it, so the corals won't get damaged. If you see any other stranded mons, you should catch them and release them once the water is back. You get special Pokeballs for that, you don't have to use your own ones. And if they are hurt, you can bring them back to the base of the club. And a second side quest would be collecting trash that is washed up at the shore. Just collect as much as you can and bring it back to the base station. The trash then gets recycled into, for example, items that you can use or decoration for the base. I do have a few plans for more side quests related to the nature conservation clubs, and I will reveal at least one more in the gym leader video. If you have any ideas for side quests you would like to see in a Pokemon game, please let me know. Because right now most of what I came up with was connected to nature conservation, but I want more variety to them. You can tell me anything you wish was implemented in an official game. That can also be turned into some sort of side quest. I didn't mention this in the previous 2 Chimoli videos because I got the idea after I released those, but you can participate in one larger quest line after beating each gym. So there will be 8 main quests that are connected to the gyms. Most of the time you can start the side quest after beating the gym leader and talk to them again. An exception is Gym 2, this quest line is for the post game. But besides this, is up to you if you leave these for the post game or if you want to do them during the story mode. If you participate right away, the gym leaders will be more friendly, talkative and will help you if you need anything. And the final evolution is done. Here is Coroyal. The name is a fusion of coral and royal, since it is based on a princess. It now is a dual water and ground type. Now looking back at it, I probably should have made the shiny completely white, but I did want to show more color variation. And there we have it, the first signature Fakemon line of the third gym leader is done. Hope you like them. Next week I will show you the second one, where I remade a concept that I used in one of my Smorgasbord videos. Especially the location that is connected to it has a really nice vibe going on in my opinion. Hope you're looking forward to it. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't. See you in the comments and next week.